Wait till 5:30 seconds.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, there it is.
It's 5:30. It's time.
Okay, welcome to the Cooley Valley School District board meeting tonight. And Bill and Ron both have excused absences, so they wrote me into doing this. Mike should be doing it. So we'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we've got to approve the meeting minutes of the November 12th, 2024.
I'll make a motion to accept the meetings minutes of November 12th meeting.
I'll second it.
You guys get to take turns tonight. Okay, we have a motion.
It should go quick, huh?
We have a motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? There's only two of you. Okay, we got to adopt tonight's agenda.
I'll make a motion to adopt tonight's agenda.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to adopt tonight's agenda. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, thank you. Any public comments or questions? There's a lot of people here. Somebody should say something. Nothing? Okay, tonight, Spotlight on Success is at Forks Middle School. So Elena, where's Elena? I just seen her. Oh, there she is.
Thank you. I don't know where to stand, but thank you for being here, families and school board members. We have a short presentation just to give you an update on some of our school improvement goals, and then we're going to have some students showcase what they're learning in class, and then they'll open up for questions. So, our school improvement goals summary is we are working on three main goals, and one is to increase family engagement and increase two-way communication so that we can partner with families. Our second goal is to implement social skills instruction and behavior support so that we can improve our student engagement and student safety at school. And then our third goal, and most importantly, is to increase the number of students meeting academic standards in both ELA and math. However, we do focus on all content areas. Science is one of our highlights at Forks Middle School with fifth grade students. We are at or above the state average for students meeting standards in science. So we want to maintain that and support all the other academic areas. In regards to family engagement and communication, our staff document, we have a Google sheet where they document two-way communication with families, and right now we have 273 documented communication efforts, and that's a combination of phone, email, positive postcards being mailed home, and or face-to-face meetings. And this does not include parent-teacher conferences. We did have 93% parent-teacher conference attendance, and those students who we did not connect with, we followed up. So that was during conference week. We followed up with those families later after conference week, so that we could, I think there's still one family that we're still trying to connect with the parents. As far as we're doing weekly drill share and remind apps communication, and so some of our families are getting multiple texts because we are doing that through text, email, and phone, especially the thrill share messages. But the remind apps are now we're doing that on Mondays, kind of with giving families a heads up in regards to activities that are coming up.
What's a thrill share?
Thrill share is the Aptitude program that we are that the district adopted. That is a program that does the attendance calls And then I think we're gonna bring on a second layer of that where teachers will have access to that, and we'll probably phase out with the Remind app and just use ThrillShare so that we're only using one district-wide.
And it's the host for our website. It's supposed to be a platform that can communicate in multiple generational preferences. So let me give you the example since I just got back from our WASDA conference. Baby boomers prefer emails. Then the next generation, X generation, might want an email, but they really probably want a text. And if you go to the millennials, they may want some kind of social media. Our Gen Zers want a picture or something really, really short. So our goal is to analyze our communication and find out what our parents what in what way, so we're not over communicating, because I have heard in other areas that we're over communicating. Like one parent who has kids in all buildings says, I'm getting emails, I'm getting ThrillShare, I'm getting a dojo, I'm getting a remind, and it's too much. So we're trying to hone in on that. Yeah.
So we'll be probably phasing out a Remind app towards the end of the school year as we get our staff trained on the new program. We have attendance calls go out daily of students that are absent, but we also follow up with personal calls if we don't hear from the parents with an excuse for their absences. We've also done home visits and other for attendance and other necessary other concerns. And we've had some family nights, back to school night in August. We had the Title VI family night here in the building in September, and the migrant multilingual one also that was in October. And then our science curriculum showcase night, it was a few weeks ago. We had about 65 attendees, and we fed them, I think it was spaghetti that was made by the high school culinary arts class. In regards to student engagement and safety, we've done some professional development for our teachers on classroom management in August. And so we will be following up with another training with classroom management. We're using the CHAMPS, which is just a model for classroom consistency across the grade levels. And so we'll be training some mentors and some coaches and principals on how to coach teachers in improving classroom management. And that goal is, again, to create a consistent and predictable environment for our kids, because that's what makes them feel safe. We also have tried to get more student engagement by connecting with the Washington Student Leaders Association. We had a Student Voice Summit in September where they spent half a day working with a trainer, and they came up with some recommendations for us to improve practices. And so one of them, for example, here is school lunches. Kids wanted, this one says more teachers, which we talked to them about what's feasible and possible based on funding. But making school lunches better, they wanted 2 options of food because they feel it's healthier and not have so much processed food. And so I actually, based on that, I met with our food service director, and twice a week now they offer 2 real, from the kids' perspective, real options of food. So like a pizza and a hamburger, for example, versus a Crustable and a pizza. So they wanted that, and so we followed through and got them what they wanted twice a week. So hopefully we'll improve on our meals for kids. They also, in the back, they said they wanted less computer work. And they are tired of, Chromebooks are important, that's how they learn now, but they wanted more direct instruction. And so I presented that to the teachers, and they are now doing a better job of balancing the teacher directed and the Chromebook work for students in the classroom.
That's a good idea.
They also asked for more discipline. They wanted teachers to hold students accountable for behavior in the classroom because they want to learn. And so all of this I shared with teachers at the beginning of the school year. They also want us to allow them to have headphones. That one I told them was up to the teacher depending on the circumstances. And so some students do learn better with some noise canceling headphones. And then we sent a group of students to the middle school leadership conference, and I think Joey is here. He's one of them that went. And they are now earning money because they had such a great time, but they want to go back in the spring, and so they are going to start doing some more fundraising for that. And then we also will be in January bringing back AWSL to do a Make the Change for the middle school level. And again, it's just empowering students to take ownership of their learning and of their school, because we know that if they're here, if they take ownership, they're going to make better choices. We are having any student that has 3 or more referrals, or 4 or more referrals in a month, we're having a behavior intervention meeting with families where we bring staff together and the parent and the student, and we talk about their strengths and then talk about a plan for improving their behavior. And then we've also started some social skills interventions sessions, either individually or in small groups. And then as far as academics, we are really spending a lot of time with our staff doing the solution tree work, which I think the board had their first training about a month ago. And so our teachers are identifying essential standards and aligning those standards, creating learning targets and learning progressions for that, so that all of our students get a strong curriculum, a strong program in preparing them for the next grade level. And we are telling teachers we want a strong lesson every day on grade level or above, because that's the only way they're going to start meeting standards. If we're teaching them at the lower grade level, they're going to always continue to be behind. And so in December 9th, our English department is going to be working with a trainer in identifying and creating a whole year's lesson progression that meets grade level standards. We're also piloting and adopting math curriculum. Our math teachers have looked at 4 programs, I believe, and they already ruled out 2. And we'll be bringing that to families to review in January or February so that we get their feedback. Really what we needed was something that was engaging students more, because math can be boring and tedious for some of our students, and the Eureka math was just not getting their attention. And so our teachers are finding 2 programs that they feel will engage students more. We've got a learning coach for students that have multiple Fs, and those are our paraeducators who support those students and meet with them weekly and set goals for them, and we're seeing great success with that. We also provide intervention that is based on our iReady data, and every quarter that changes based on if they're growing or need support in another area. And so it'll be ELA or math focused. And we do offer academic support before and after school, and also during the school day for those students who don't have transportation. And so we do that every morning during first period. So they do miss out on enrichment, but they do get that academic support. And every student in the middle school has a learning plan that they developed with the support of Tara Huggins and Brittany Cheda. It is a requirement for 8th graders, but we decided that it was beneficial for every one of our students to get that plan and communicate that with families. So we did that during conference week. And so now I'm going to leave it to our teachers and our students. And so Becky Murillo and Megan Rasmussen are here to showcase our bands. And then after that, Dr. Whitehead will talk about some student projects that they did with in math and algebra. And then Mrs. Fiesel will have her students showcase some of the health things that they're doing in those.
Thank you, Annie.
Thank you.
All right, I have some 5th grade students. They've been playing their instruments since September, and they are gung-ho to come play some songs for you. First up will be Nevaeh and Reagan, and they will be performing Merrily We Roll Along. Kemi, and Logan, and they will be performing Long-Legged Sailor.
Sailor.
One, two. They have to play basketball games. All right, next up, we have Ari, Angelica, and Logan performing Hot Cross Buns. One, two, three. Emery and Velma would like to perform My Country Tis a Thee. Oh, no. Yes, baby. You want to put your music on? All right, you ready? We performed this at the Veterans Day Assembly. Ready? All right, and now for all you rockers out there, we will add Kemi, Velma, Henry, Howard, and Ari, and Logan if he wants to play along, and Joe if he can play along too. We have Power Rock for you.
Favorite.
Kemi starts it, not too fast.
Can you just, Becky, Mrs. Morello, can you tell him how many students you have in your beginning band class?
Currently, I have 35 students in my beginning band class. We had 40, but we had some people move and had a little shifting at the quarter, and I'm at 35 really solid students. They're doing great, and I'm very pleased with the progress they're making. It's a good little bunch of people. Drag all our stuff, but
Thank you.
very much.
Pretty impressive.
It
Just
is,
started in
for a band.
September.
Maybe we'll have enough for marching band someday.
It is pretty impressive.
There we go.
So in math class, we are piloting 2 curriculums. Well, we were piloting 4, but we ruled out 2 after looking at them. We're looking at illustrative math and the iReady classroom curriculum book. We like both of them. There are pros and cons, so we're still meeting out what we like best, but there are good things about each program. Both of them start with the geometry unit. So I started with the geometry unit in 5th grade math. We reviewed graphing coordinate pictures. They take a code, which looks like this. It's a code, and they turn it into a picture that looks like this. So the kids have a lot of fun with that, and it reinforces graphing. And then we get into graphing transformations on a coordinate plane, which are your slides, your flips, and your turns, which are rotations, reflections, all congruent figures. And then we move into dilations, which grow and shrink the figure in proportion. And we do that all on a coordinate plane. And then at the end of the unit, I gave the students some project options. And one of the project options was to do a stop motion animation project where they slide, flip, or turn or stretch a figure. And they do it like stop motion animation, which is frame by frame by frame. And when you play it really fast, it makes a video. So I included some of the students' stop motion animations in this video. Enjoy. And of course, the story continues. Let's go. They're all very different. And no. This one's a dilation where the figure gets bigger in proportion. kids were able to use their creativity and imagination and their activities and their to Oh, the music ended a little early, but it's a good finale.
Oh, cool. Oh, perfect. Only in Forks.
So they had a lot of fun with that. And that was just a small sampling. All my students did it in Math 8 and Algebra.
Wow.
Nice.
Your turn. Okay,
Thank
all
you.
right. So I'm Mrs. Fusel. I've taught here for the last 6 years and I started off primarily PE. But this is the first year that I've gotten to teach like a full health class. I feel health is very important for our younger generation. Mostly in terms of growing up and being able to live healthy lifestyles. So I've been able to dive a little bit deeper into some of the units we've been focusing on just because I've been able to teach a whole year, or I'm going to be able to teach a whole year of health. So we've gone through 3 different units so far. We're going to talk about 2 of them today. I was reflecting on what the students were asking for, so less computer work. So a lot of our units and projects we do are leaning towards more of a project-based learning and assessment. So they get to show their creativity, but also explaining that they're hitting the standard and that they are on the grade level outcome that they should be on. So we've done some projects. One of them, which I always start off the year, is through the dimensions of health. That kind of gauges where we're going to go for the rest of the year. So there's 5 dimensions of health that you're going to kind of learn about through one of our project-based assessments. We have 3 games that all reflect the dimensions of health that our students have created that they will play with you. And then we also have our nutrition unit that we've just finished up. We learn, well, our focus was deciding how we should eat healthier and what the nutrition labels say and how we can, they said that they wanted better lunches. So how do we know that we're getting better lunches? They can look at the nutrition fact, they can look at the label, and they can make that choice if they're getting healthier options or what they want to eat in the long-term goal of their own health. But we focused on sugar intake. A lot of the beverages that we were seeing were beverages that have a lot of sugar. Even myself, I drink a lot of sugar too. I'm sure we all drink some sort of sugar. So we talked about the sugar intake. They were able to use some of their math skills and actually look at the nutrition label, the amount of sugar that's in grams, convert it to teaspoons, and then convert it into sugar cubes so that we could have a better visual on how much sugar we're really getting. So we'll talk about nutrition as well. And then at the end, I'll talk a little bit about the Win at Social curriculum that we just purchased this year. It's a health-based curriculum and a social emotional learning curriculum. And I'll talk a little bit about that as well. So our first little part is going to be about the dimensions of health, and we're going to start with Jeopardy. Right here. Okay. You ready?
So introduce yourselves to the board so they know your names too.
I'm Haley Rondo. I'm in 7th grade. I'm View Black and I'm in 7th grade.
Who are you?
Joey Sorensen. I'm in 8th grade.
Okay, there we go.
All right.
This is the 5 dimensions of health, even though there's only 4. The brain health talks about mental and emotional. This is the 5 dimensions of health Jeopardy.
So we were gonna split us into groups, but there's a little bit more people than we expected. So we'll just take you through a little bit of a preview of how the game works. You can choose anybody, and then we'll have them choose a dimension and an amount, and then you guys will be read the question and see if you can get it right.
Oh my goodness.
So you want to go first?
Sure.
All right, I'll go first. Go ahead, Nancy.
What one first?
I'll do social media for 100, please.
Start with the easy one.
Right?
Well,
Maybe, we'll see.
What's the top way to improve communication skills? Count?
No.
Listening.
Oh, cool.
So if you were to have one that in your group, you would get the card and then on the back it has your amount, and then you would have your points and whoever gets the most points would win.
Okay, I failed that.
Okay, all right.
That was a good answer,
All
I
right,
thought.
I'm gonna go brain health for 100.
Brain health?
Which way is a good way to avoid stress?
Take a nap.
Please don't.
Exercise.
That is on it though, but the two they have listed. Go ahead.
It was positive self-esteem and sleep of 8 hours.
Oh.
So sleep, we talk a lot about sleep, how important it is in terms of our brain function and our health.
I was gonna say don't work.
Take a mental health day.
Yeah.
Diana, what was your answer?
Exercise.
Oh,
That is a great strategy
That's a
though,
good
that we do talk about. Okay, let's go on to the.
Maybe you guys will do
I'll
better.
do Spirits in the Sky for 100.
spirits in the.
What age group is the most insecure?
Teenagers.
Yeah.
That would be your points.
Yeah. Also
You're
known
winning.
as 13 to 17. Also considered teenagers.
Awesome.
No, you can just keep it. We'll just go around.
Okay.
Mike's beating us.
I get to do
Uh-oh.
it. I guess I get to get physical.
For what, how much?
What?
You don't have to
How
start
much?
with 100.
Oh,
You can do
Five
anyone you
hundred.
want.
500, yeah.
They promised you guys would know how to play Jeopardy.
Okay. What country is least healthy? A, America, B, Mexico, C, Ethiopia, D, South Africa, or E, India?
America.
No, it was C, Ethiopia.
Oh, I think I would have said America.
Oh,
I
that's
did when they were
Ethiopia.
practicing earlier. I said America.
Yeah, because you're hearing so much anymore about
Yeah,
how.
yeah.
Being overweight and
Yeah,
all of
everybody's-
that.
Which is why we've been focusing so much on nutrition.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's great.
Anybody
Cool.
else? Does anybody from the crowd want to try?
Come on.
Come on, Vern, do one.
Vern.
Come on, Vern.
Come on, Vern.
I see the options.
Let's help you out.
Give me a brain health for 300.
For 300?
Yeah.
The middle.
Unless you guys call each other big brains these days.
What's the
He's
top cause of stress?
He's a doctor. He should.
The top cause of stress.
Yeah.
Kids.
Being a teacher.
This is middle school, right?
Yeah.
I would say, I'm gonna say financial.
No, peer pressure.
Peer pressure.
Oh.
Okay.
Peer
Sure.
pressure.
It's
Dang
a
it.
hard
game.
It is a hard game, but it's
So
awesome.
all of these answers come from the 8th grade or 7th grade
Spirit in the
standards.
Sky
That
for
is.
400.
What percent of people struggle with self-worth? A, 25%, B, 65%, C, 85%, or D, 45%?
This is, I'm guessing for middle school, it's gonna be 65%.
It's C, 85%.
Wow.
That's high.
Yeah.
This is another reason why we've been focusing so much on health, because you can see, the mental and social status of how our kids are feeling. All right. What do you think? Anybody else?
Great job.
That's awesome. Thank you. That's awesome.
So we had some more games. I wanted to just point out this real quick. We won't have to play all of them, but we partnered with this super cool CTE teacher who just so happens to be Mr. Fiesel, the 3D printer man. And so all of our games, so they were in groups. All of our students made them. So I think Dustin printed like 600 of these pawns, and then some of his kids were able to design the dice. We had chess and checkered pieces that were designed for these games. These games were crazy, like they were awesome.
And they all revolved around our 5 dimensions of health. So this was another one that was made. It was just a board game with instructions, and then you had to answer a question to move your pawn. See if you would get them right, you can move on. So,
What are some of the questions?
all right, some of the questions. Yeah, I'll set it up. Oh, I don't.
One of them was name 2 health dimensions.
Oh, that's hard.
Could anybody name them, you see, based off of what board game we just played?
The brain and exercise.
I'm gonna say physical
So physical health, yeah.
and mental health.
Yep.
Good job.
How many dimensions of health are there?
5.
Eating healthy food helps with each dimension of health, true or false?
True.
Okay, we'll do one more about that. I need to sleep at least blank hours of sleep at night.
8.
Yeah, see,
Supposed
you
to.
guys are learning something.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Same numbers when we were kids.
I only got 5.
Okay, and then Joey's gonna talk a little bit more about nutrition. Like I said, we focused on, well, one of the standards is to be able to read a nutrition label and then be able to make a healthy choice based off of the nutrition label. So we focused on sugar. I actually brought in like a bunch of sugar cubes. So if we have ants at school, it might just be. I had students guess how much they thought was in each one. And you'd be shocked by how many are in each soda, and even like the energy drinks that kids drink, even like coffee and creamer and things like that. Chocolate milk, yeah, it's a big one. And sports drinks that our kids think are healthy, but really have a lot of hidden sugars in them. Yeah, good.
So every day we're only supposed to consume 3 sugar cubes, but like this A&W cream soda has 75 grams of sugar or 18 sugar cubes in it. And this
18?
20-ounce Mountain Dew has 19 sugar cubes or 77 grams of sugar in it.
So students were able to,
That's why I don't drink.
like Joey was able to see that there was 77 grams of sugar. And then we had to convert that, divide it by 4 tablespoons to get them out of sugar cubes. So thanks, Marnie, for teaching our kids such great math. But I asked the students, and some of them were like, oh yeah, like I could do that. But could we really sit down and physically eat 19 sugar cubes? Like that would be really difficult for somebody to do. So Joey was gonna try it, but I didn't think his mom would be happy for me to do that. But
Home with Courtney.
yeah. Yes. So these are posters that kids made. There's a whole bunch down in the hallway. If you want to walk down, there's tons of different kinds. But this is what they've created for their project-based assessment for our beverages.
Awesome. That was so awesome.
So this is a
And
class
then-
that you have
Yeah, this is my health class. Yeah.
every day, or every day?
They're on a rotation because they still have to get their PE minutes,
Oh, yeah.
physical health. But yeah, I have them two days a week. So it takes a little bit longer for us to get through a unit because I don't have them every day. But we've definitely dug a lot deeper into our standards since I do have a whole year with them. And I'm able to like focus solely on health and be able to do cool things like this that they really can visually see and learn about.
And the students like it,
They love it.
do they?
Well, I hope so. But I think they do.
Well, these sure do.
We do a lot of fun things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The games.
I like that they're playing games and interacting with one another.
Yeah, they're
That's
creating
really-
the game.
I'd
They
play that.
create
Yeah,
games.
it's really awesome.
It's
Well,
super
maybe we
cool.
could
I feel like
buy it.
that's how I learn best, like from doing things. And so, sometimes we do work on the computers and stuff, but a lot of our lessons are project-based learning. So, yeah. And then I just have one more thing. So the Win at Social, is, like I said, it's a curriculum that we adopted earlier this year. You guys approved it, so thank you so much for that. It is on the computer, so sometimes I just use it as an entry task. Sometimes the lessons can go up to like 30 to 45 minutes, but they're very interactive. I play it on the board. I should have played the lesson for you guys, but I play it on the board, and then they are able to follow along, and it'll say like eyes up, so they know when to look at the computer, or eyes down, look at your computer and read this prompt. And it's really hands-on. It's really cool, but it's focused on digital citizenship. So we know that there's the kids feel like they need their cell phones, but to use them for better and not for worse. And so that's what it teaches, is about digital citizenship. And then one thing I absolutely love about this curriculum is that every time they log in, I'm able to do a culture check, and I'm able to see how they're feeling about school. And then I can just print this page out or send an email and let students or teachers know how our students are feeling. That way we can assess how they're feeling, like before the holidays or when they come back. Are they excited to be at school? Are they feeling sad? Are they meh? However they're feeling. And then we can kind of, I guess, guide our lessons based off of their needs. So this is how the last one I was able to do was 305 students total. And then I'll just leave this for you guys. But kind of just gives you a feeling, or shows us how our kids are feeling about school.
And it's great to have feedback on when we do approve a curriculum.
Yep.
How it's working.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So-
it's really cool. So
Good to know.
anyway,
good.
that's help if there's any questions.
So what do you do if you
Yeah.
find out a student's feeling pretty low?
Um,
Do you intervene or?
so that doesn't, everything on this one is anonymous, so I don't get to see who feels that way. But we do temperature checks. All of our teachers do what we call a temperature check, so we can see how each student is feeling individually. And maybe they're just having a bad day and a teacher can check in on them, or maybe we can ask our school counselor to check in with them. And then we also have Brittany Cheda, who's our MTSS, who steps in and can also check and see how they're doing.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
And thank you, families, for being supportive.
Yeah.
Spending the night here with us up here for Thanksgiving break. Are there any other questions?
No, great job.
Great job,
Thank you.
students.
That's exciting.
That was awesome.
Good to see what everyone's up to.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we have the consent agenda.
Or the whole meeting.
Thank you all for coming.
Thanks for letting
Yeah.
me tell you guys about health class.
Thanks for coming.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
That's pretty cool.
That was really cool.
That was, it's fun.
Thank you, Elena.
Well, thank our staff. No, I went old school. I do want to say our staff is amazing, and they care, truly care about kids, and it's heartwarming, and we are here and they step up to support in any way.
Yeah, that was good. I liked
Kudos to
that.
our staff. They're amazing.
Okay, consent agenda.
Whose turn is it, Mike? Mine or yours?
Is there any
Me.
questions on, or do we have a motion to pass the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda.
I'll second.
Okay, it's moved and second. Is there any questions on any of it? There was something I had, I don't remember what the hell it was. Okay, if there's no questions, then all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, it's been moved and passed and seconded.
That Apogee Services Rooms and Professional Development not to exceed 8,000, that's so we can add on the communication tool that we'll start using with parents. So we get them all in the same place, but it tracks how many parents are reached. So there's a record of what we're doing, but it's similar to Inform, Class Dojo, but we'll slowly transition so we're all on the same platform.
That was kind of neat. Now, how many interactions was there? 200?
There's about 293.
Is that more than last year or?
That is, for this time of year, so from September to now, we are increasing our parent
Quite a bit more.
communication. Yeah.
It's good and
So-
helping.
Yeah, and then so when we pull up it's like they have the teacher documents whether it was a positive call, a neutral, if it was academic or behavior based. So we have data as far as those 293 calls, what were the nature of those calls. And so we were able to kind of track that as well.
How do you keep track of all that?
It is, so I have an amazing staff, and so they created a Google sheet. And that when a teacher calls, they document who they talked to, the time of day, the nature of the call, and then they add some notes as far as if there's any follow-up that needs to happen. And so I look at that like once a month. But they, as a team, then can look at it and determine if there's more support needed for that student.
Well,
And I can vouch for it. I mean, I have a learning focused conversation with each of the building principals. That was one of the areas that we looked at because that's one of her school improvement plan goals is to increase parent engagement. So that's where you want our staff can reach out to parents, but the two-way communication is the most important.
so it's mostly between the teachers and the parents.
Yeah,
It's
between
not
the
that-
teachers and the parents, that's a teacher-parent log. So any calls I make, that's not part of that. In the behavioral office, that's not part of that either. It is really the teacher and the parent. And again, some of those are email, some of those are postcards. With the postcards, it's just a one-way, but we do want positive postcards going out, and so.
Is the grade school doing that too?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Cool.
So I'll
That's in the
interview
middle.
Brittany Hunley to create in the Google sheet, and then our staff will provide feedback as far as how to make it better.
We're not tracking it like Elena is, just to be clear on that. We do have a two-way communication. I can't give you a spreadsheet on it.
That's okay. So we did the consent agenda, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So now we're on to reports. Diana.
Cool. Let me get it up there. So we're back in September, and we'll do 2 next month, October and November. So the September revenues, we had a little over, about 5.5 million. Our expenditures were 4.8, and it was 10% of our apportionment, so we had a little extra. And you can see where we are. We're really just a little bit above where we were. That's the amount of money that we have in our county treasure. And so we're really about 300,000 over where we were last year, or not quite. And the reason it looks like we have less with the percentage is because we have a $65 million budget this year, and last year we only had a $52 million budget. So it looks like that's just numbers. And so you can see where we're starting the year. We're really about right where we started last year. Oh, wait a minute. No, that was in 2020. Yeah, 2022, 2023. So we're really higher than where we were last year for the 23-24 budget. And so again, Jan adjusted the required minimum fund balance at 5%. I think last year was 2.5 million to 3.2 million. We have some carryover dollars. That means that we can only spend those in certain areas for 393. So 5.6% of that money is undesignated unreserved funds or designated reserve funds. And that means that our undesignated unreserved is about 7.5 million or 11% of our budget. If we were going to go into our budget status sheets, a couple of really important things. Well, one, as you know, in following our debt service fund, where we pay off our bonds, we got $57,000 in DNR timber dollars. Last year we had a short. If you looked at our timber dollars, we did not have as much timber sales as we've had the previous year, but we did see some first in September. That's good, a good sign. And then again, if you look at our ending fund balance in the general fund, we're really at 11 million. So it's higher than it was last year. And we'll just see how that goes as we progress through the year. But there's really not, I know one other thing that was important that I thought you might be interested in. Already our investment earnings for September show $125,000 because we have that amount in the county treasurer. Like last year, I think we saw almost $600 thousand worth of investment funds that we got in the county. And that's really important because that's considered local dollars. So that's another pot of money that you have discretionary use. And so Jan is tracking that. So when our grant comes in for our fields, that might be a way we spend that money. You get to determine, we have a hearing, you get to determine how you utilize those funds. And Jan has tracked those over the last 2 years, and we probably have at least over $1 million, and probably we'll have about $1.7 million by the end of this year in that pot of funding. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so we'll go into November enrollment. Brick and mortar, we are, go back there because we're down about 25 at actual at 844. And one of Ron will probably report this in the next board meeting, but we were at the WASDA conference, and one of the things that was very interesting is they showed the number of K-12 students, what we have now and what they're predicting in the next 10 years. And there is a baby bust in our nation, meaning that our Gen Z kids are not having as many children as the previous generation. And so they're expecting that number to go down, in addition to the fact that now there's more student choice than ever. They're not captured. They don't have to go to their local brick and mortar schools. And so that's even more reason why we want to make sure that we're serving our families and especially engaging our students so that they want to come to our buildings.
So do they think there's gonna be more online students, or? They don't know.
They don't know. Yeah. And so elementary, pretty stable, down a little bit at 348, 0.82. And I think the last I heard, we have 54 early childhood slots dedicated to Forks, and we have a total of 48, or was it 46?
I think it's 48. We've had
Yeah.
2 newbies come in.
Yeah.
So I think we're at 48.
But our goal is to get to 54.
And my ECAP team does a really good job of actively recruiting. They are continually trying to
Find our kids. Middle school, we've been pretty stable there. Actual is 235 FTE. And again, you can see what the average is because that fluctuates every month. The high school, again, we're averaging for the month of November, we have 213 students at the high school. Our homeschool plus, and what I learned in talking with other superintendents, this trend is also across the state, probably nation, but again, opportunity for some kind of alternative learning. That's our homeschool plus. We're currently almost at 50, and I think we have a waiting list. And then we're continuing to see growth in our online program, really almost about where we budgeted for at the elementary grades in K-5. And again, the total for the month was 45. If you look at the average, because they are slowly building, but I think each month we're gaining. And Myron could probably do a better job explaining these as we go through them.
So on the K-5, Diana, I'm anticipating we're going to start December close to 565, 570.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, and so the middle school, again, we're closing the gap. And one of the big changes with our online program is that they are accepting students year round, whereas last year we had very specific times and would have cutoffs, but it's more flexible now. So we saw growth in particularly, I think, in 7th and 8th grade this last month. And Myron, are we anticipating the same in December?
Yeah, we're anticipating the same. I think we're going to be close to 700 students with our head count for the December one. Somewhere in the 690 to 700 range is my guess.
Yeah. And then last but not least, we're doing the same with our high school. So again, that we'll have budget capacity. And I would anticipate that we're seeing an increase there as well.
Yeah, we're anticipating about 1,840-ish students for our December 1 head count.
So I think we'll be really close. The difference though is we average from September to December, so we're not going to quite see the numbers, but I think by the end of the year we'll be close to what we budgeted for. And so the bottom line is on the average, go back, go ahead. Negative 821, but again, we're gonna see that narrow, and we want a little extra so we don't have to do the budget extension.
So when you budget it, is it to the end of the school year or?
Yeah, the state actually pays us based on what we budget, September through December. And then in January, whatever you're short, they withdraw that. So you're gonna see if you go back to where you see the dip in the actual graph, we're gonna see it, but we're not gonna see it as drastically as we have other years, I don't believe. I really do not believe. I think we'll end somewhere about in the vicinity, probably 200 FTE, maybe 300 below what we were anticipating.
So if you go back to the homeschool plus, so you had like 45 students, and did you say you were capped out there?
We really have 2 teachers that man the program, both Judy Whitehead and Janan Meyer. And we have a split of models. The high school level, she has a lab setting where kids can come and go, where they might need support because of the nature of the subject matter. But they have to make contact, at least have one meeting with the parent and the student once a week, where they can see whether or not they're making progress on their student written learning plan, because it's in the ALE environment, just like our online program. There's 25 bullet points that they have to match in order to get funding for the kids. And so like Janan Meyer does a lot of the younger kids. So she has appointments every day with families, with a parent and a student, goes over the lesson planning for the next week, and then may do some individual tutoring on a subject matter that their weekend or whatever. They can't really serve more than 25 at a time.
So if you've got a waiting list, those students that are on the waiting list, are they in brick and mortar or where are they at?
Yeah, some of them are waiting in the school.
Some of them might choose Insight instead or go to another program. And again, us trying to gauge room and looking at the future of where education is going and what kind of flexibility some parents want flexibility for their children. And actually some students do better without all of the interruptions of the day and too many kids and too much engagement. It's too, one of the things that was pointed out at our conferences are current Gen Z students who are in our system, and then our new alphas coming in, that's the lower generation, have more anxiety and more stress than ever for a variety of reasons. And I mean, you heard what we're trying to combat it, and some do better in a smaller setting.
Yeah, and some come back, actually. They try it and they go, you know what, I'm just not that kind of learner. I'll come back. And so that is what opens up slots over there. So.
Good questions. Okay, I think that's it.
Okay, thanks, Diana. It's back to you again, the EP&O levy committee recommendations.
So I'm getting the communication, like I have we're working with our consultant for our 1-page EP&O flyer. It's looking really good. Ron and I spent time in different sessions listening to other school districts who recently either passed an EP&O levy and or bond. And what we heard over and over is that you make sure that you have a representative at the committee that has generational belief in your school system and trust in your school system. So we want to make sure we get the right people on the yes committee. I can't promote yes, I can be a part of that committee, but those people are the ones who go out into the community and say, please vote yes, or help talk to people about why. And so I have a list of people that I would like to engage, but what Ron's idea was that each of you come up with several examples of people that you think would be good on the committee, would be a good voice, that you know that you could twist their arm in joining our committee.
And how many do you want?
So we
You want all the
don't,
yes people.
we don't want more than probably 15, really anywhere between 12 and 15. More than that is too much. And I will be meeting with them sometime before Christmas. We'll get really aggressive in January because the ballots come out January the 25th. And we'll be analyzing our voter footprint. But again, the message that we got is we make sure that we have representation from our community. So I'm thinking the Hispanic community, our Quileute community, but then generational people who are going to be here, stay here, who really have grandkids coming into it. So we have older generation, we have parent generation, and then community outliers who are going to vote. So I want you each to think of 2 people you might, like Ron already knows who he's going to go talk to see if they'd be willing to be on that committee. It's going to really take a concentrated time right after Christmas until about February the 10th, and that's it. Okay?
Okay.
Thinking like
What do we
Linda-
text them?
Linda
Oh,
McNulty.
we go talk to them, right?
Correct. Or you and I would together if I don't know them well enough. And then I can give you what it would probably amount to about 4 meetings where I'd spend the first meeting really going over what it is and what it isn't. And we're getting we're getting a beautiful flyer. And that will be one part that they do. And they can do anything they want to do. We just can't have yes on any of our materials that come out of QVSD because of the guidelines, the PDC, what is it? Public disclosure guidelines.
How about Justin? That was kind of
That's gonna be what your recommendation.
He said he'd go to the Beaver Coffee Clutch.
It's like-
So I'm looking for recommendations, and I'll call each of you separately and let's talk it over, but be thinking about that. That was actually Ron's idea, so that you guys represent your areas. And it might be that we find somebody who might sit on the fence or be a naysayer, but we bring them on board and we explain why, the importance of it for our kids and our programs.
So you don't necessarily want people in our age group. You'd rather have some that are.
Well, we
younger.
want some of our parents as well.
Like grandparents.
Grandparents who are upcoming, who
That's our age group.
have kids coming in, yeah.
So yeah,
That's
your
an
age group.
important one. I was thinking a retired teacher, and I can work on that part too. But we want to make sure that we have good representation, people who will get out and are willing to talk with others.
Okay.
Okay, you thinking about that?
I've got a bunch of them in there. Okay, board member reports.
Nope,
Mike, nothing?
nothing again.
Shannon has something, no?
No, I'll be okay.
And I guess Myron's gonna do a separate.
And then when Ron gets back, he wants to talk about a session he sat in on. There were 2 school districts that are saying no cell phones. And one of them had a student panel and they said how good it's going.
Really?
How different it is changing the climate of their schools because kids talk with one another.
They have no choice.
So no cell phones, period, not even in the hallways.
Mm-mm.
It's not a statewide ban yet, is it, or
Mm-mm.
no?
Of course, they said their biggest challenge, this is Peninsula Gig Harbor area school district, their biggest challenge, they spent a whole 6 months working with parents because the parents were the hardest part. But what they have seen is, they said, remarkable. Fewer bullying, harassment incidents, fewer problems within the school day, less depression. Kids are happier. Engagement is way up.
So how's it working here?
Should translate into better test scores.
Is it doing?
Yeah,
Is
I
it-
mean, that no cell phones during instructional time, it's going better. I
Is
mean,
it?
you go around and the kids are engaged, and so you still have kids sneaking out and still
Yeah.
texting under, and then, so when the teacher is aware, they say, you know, give me your cell phones or put it away. So you still have those issues, but it's not at all like it was before, and I don't know if you two want to speak to it.
I haven't had too many problems with it. I have a specific student that I have to wag a finger at all the time.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I say, once the bell rings, I say, computers away, phones away, and of course, we have instruments, so that helps.
Can't play the trombone with
Yeah,
cell phone.
parents have been very supportive. Like, I know when I call parents about the cell phone, usually they'll either take it away from their student and the student won't even have it the next day, or the student is aware that I'm gonna call home if I see it again, and they put it away. So, parents are really coming around to the new policy.
Good.
Yeah.
That's
Happy to
good
hear
news.
that.
The staff and substitutes and stuff are too.
Some of our para-educators are attached to their phones just like the kids are, but we just remind them and then they put them away, so. And I don't know, do substitutes get the phone policy when they
Yeah.
sign up?
Mhm.
Okay,
I think it's just a cycle of reminders and,
yeah,
the expectations need to be,
Yeah.
but
You-
it's a lot better than it was last
You
year.
don't have a problem in grade school. do you?
It's not, I haven't had a single issue with the cell phone.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
No, I have zero, I'm the exemplar, the cell phone policy is working fabulously in the elementary school.
Good job, Sarah.
Thanks. We're killing it.
Okay, Myron, you have Insight School Washington report.
Don't, we are talking about a little bit about enrollment. We have a new term starting in our high. We just finished trimester 1 yesterday. It is at Washington. So trimester 2 is launching in our high school program on Monday. And then and semester 2 in our K-8 program, like traditional semester schedule. I think the biggest some of the cool things that we kind of discussed in our monthly school review with our portfolio partners is we actually have some pretty cool things happening with our clubs right now. So we have a cooking club that is sharing recipes and doing those kinds of things. That's doing some great work. And then our new guild club that I know came up that you guys approved recently. They actually had their first tournament. They did a multiverses tournament. So they had a lot of fun doing that. And then one of K-12 does a national photography competition, and one of our students actually won second place in that national competition. And these images are actually often used when you log into the online school. There's often pictures that show up in that program, in that platform. And those winners those pictures are actually cycled through as students log in and view things. So the home pages like that all contain those pictures. So that's kind of cool.
Myron, thank you for sharing that cook-off challenge too. I think that our culinary arts class, Shelley Castellano said there would be 2 of our students who want to participate. So, thank you.
Cool. Is that everything, Myron? Yep. Thank you. Okay, old business. Oh, there's a bunch of them. Okay, first one's the final acceptance of the Spartan Stadium Phase 2 restrooms.
So there was an outstanding outdoor light that got finally replaced last week. And so this is the letter from the architect that proves you have to do the final acceptance of the Spartan Stadium Phase 2 restrooms. We are officially complete. Once you approve it, then any issues that might come up under warranty, it starts after today.
How much warranty have we got?
A month.
No, we get a full year
1 year?
warranty, yeah.
So if something happens to one of the toilets or something, they'll come back
Yeah.
and fix it. Cool. Okay, if there's no more questions, do I have a motion to pass that?
I'll make a motion, we accept the final payoff on the Spartan bathrooms.
I will second it.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Okay. Okay, approval of the AIA application and certification of payment. This is to the city?
No, remember we had to run the grant through the city, so the $12,291.37 is what we pay Hoke. There is still one outstanding item that we can't close it out through RCO because we're waiting on LNI to certify that Hoke paid Bacon Davis wages. But anyway, this is one of the last payments we'll make.
Okay. Okay, do I have a motion to pass that?
I'll make a motion for the approval of the AIA application and certificate of payment.
I'll second.
Just back and forth.
Mhm.
It's been moved and seconded to pass the AIA application and certification. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, moved and passed.
So before you get into all these other ones, just so you know, these aren't new clubs. The new clubs were in the approval or in the consent. So Brandy was actually here. Her daughter was playing the drum. She's our new ASB secretary. And so she is going through and auditing everything. So she's getting all of these in compliance so that if we have an audit, we're good. So a lot of these just either hadn't gone to the board, they needed ASB approval. There's all kinds of little things, but it's nothing unusual other than she's getting everything in
I
compliance.
know they were pretty basic. reading
Yeah.
through 'em.
How many clubs do we have? Man,
A lot.
It seems like.
That's a good question.
They all want to do fundraisers and there's only so many games and stuff that they can share the concession stands. And I mean, how do they take turns on all that?
They just sign up.
Yeah, so we have a calendar, at the middle school, we meet in August and we have a calendar. And so we know the candy grams are gonna be sold, for, Halloween and the Halloween time. And so the yearbook says, I'll do that one. And then another club says, I'll do the ones in Valentine's. And another club says, I'll do Christmas candy grams. And then socials and dances and things like that, we calendar out the whole year. So that's kind of how we divvy it up so that we're providing all clubs and classes opportunity to make money.
Okay.
Okay, so we can't do all these at once.
No.
All right.
I
We
make
can
a
get
motion
through
we
this
do them all
fast.
at once.
What?
I make a motion we do them all at once.
Okay. It's been moved. Okay, revision of the Forks Middle School Drama Club. And we've already read these, so do we need to go through them again?
No.
Okay. I have a motion to pass that one.
I'll make a motion for revision of Forks Middle School Drama Club.
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay. Okay, revision of the Forks Middle School Prevention Club.
I'll make a motion for the revision of the Forks Middle School Prevention Club.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
I said
Okay.
aye.
Flying right through. Yeah, don't oppose one of these, Mike. Revision of Forks High School ALE formerly alternative school. Oh,
I'll make a motion, we accept revision of Forks High School ALE alternative school.
I second it.
okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay. Revision of the Forks High School National Honor Society Club.
Make a motion for the revision of the Forks High School National Honor Society Club.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay. Well, these aren't so hard. Revision of the Forks High School Girls Soccer Club.
Make a motion, we accept the Forks High School Girls Soccer Club.
I second it.
You almost read second. Been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, revision of the Forks High School Football Club.
I'll make a motion that we approve the revision of the Forks High School Football Club.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so it passed. Revision of the Forks High School Boys Soccer Club.
I'll make a motion, we accept the revision of the Forks High School Boys Basketball Club.
I second it.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Wait, was that soccer club?
That
Or
was soccer.
So now we
That
gotta
was
go, we
soccer.
gotta go back to soccer.
Oh, go to soccer? No,
Well, which one did we do?
I did the basketball. Club.
Mike said basketball, so
Oh, that was soccer.
Oh, Jay,
We-
we gotta go back to high.
That's okay. You can do
I
that.
make a motion, we have the revision of the Forks High School Soccer.
There you go.
Okay,
I'll second that.
okay, so. Okay, so moved and seconded. All those in favor?
By the way, those just were never brought to the board. If you looked at who originally
I know.
got everything together, it was Al Sheely. If that tells you how long ago it was, they just needed formal approval.
I know. I was
Yeah,
gonna-
back in,
Yeah,
I was
back in
gonna
my
say,
day.
and they're all that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was 2012 or something.
yeah, he
Yeah.
was back. He came back just for a couple years, worked for us. Mhm. Weren't you his
Yeah,
assistant?
I was his assistant.
Okay, the next one's revision of the Forks Middle School ASB.
Make a motion, we accept the revision of Forks Middle School ASB.
I will second it.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
See, that seemed like a lot. Good job.
Okay. New business, multilingual plan. You might want to tell us about that.
Yeah, so Elena is our current director of our multilingual education service plan, and we're required for the board to review what our processes are. And so she's created a document that really outlines what the overview of our program is, the identification, how we identify eligible learners, the parent notification part, just all of the components.
The assessments and the services and how they are served at the elementary, middle school, high school, and
Inside School Washington, yeah. And then this feeds into a grant that Elena is responsible for putting in our system, in the EGMS system. But Elena's here to answer any questions that you might have. Like one of the areas that you might not know is that our Native population of students can qualify for multilingual services because of their language and culture. And so that's one of the areas that's the average person wouldn't know
Yeah.
about. But is there anything else that you think that they should know?
I think it's pretty much the same as last year. The elementary is continuing to do a supportive mainstream model, which with some pull-ups. So it's just paras going in. They did have 2 new para educators at the elementary school, and that's going to provide a lot of support for 8 that she didn't have last year. At the middle level, we're kind of maintaining. The exciting thing is that Kayla Ayers is working to do more of a coaching with the ELA teachers. So there's a lot of like co-teaching or co-planning for instruction with the English language learners, so that they're addressing language as they're also teaching English in the class, so that they're not being pulled out to do just English, but they're actually getting their language instruction in the classroom.
And the same thing at the high school level.
And so that's the exciting thing at the high school, that program is now moving to the high school where Gabi and Cheryl Archibald have like a sheltered English model. So they're co-teaching, co-planning, and co-assessing those students. So those are the major changes.
Who has the most trouble with it? The grade school or the?
I think there's challenges at every grade level, every.
High school too?
There's just, there's challenges.
Depends on when the student arrived in America and what their own literacy skills are in their own language. I mean, there's all kinds of different scenarios.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's a good thing.
And then Myron also serves multilingual. If you wanted the numbers, I don't know, what are our numbers in brick and mortar,
Oh,
103?
123.
123 to give you an idea. And then Myron, I don't know what your population is of multilingual learners.
I don't recall the population number off the top of my head, but we do have, we have 2 teachers that are dedicated to providing support for multilingual learners. We have one dedicated in the high school, one dedicated in K-8. And then one of the other things that we do, because we're an online platform, is we do engage, we have a tool called Snap and Read that our students can use to automatically translate things. Obviously, it's a computer-generated translation, so it's not the greatest, but it does allow them to translate things back into the native tongue if necessary.
Yeah. Myron, I think when we had that demonstration in Washington, D.C., the student, I was an EL learner or multilingual learner. Remember when we each sat down, there was a special ed student? Yeah. So they have a lot of different tools that they can utilize in the platform.
So part of the grant requirements is that you review this plan every year and approve it so that you can.
This isn't the first year we've had it, though, is it?
No, every year we bring it
Yeah.
forward for your review and approval.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, then we need a motion to pass the multilingual plan.
I'll make a motion to pass the multilingual plan.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Okay, it's been moved and passed. Okay, the 2024-25 winter coaches staff resolution. And Diana, do you have anything? Oh, that's just
Yeah, that just, again, solidifies the staff, and I'm losing I can't even find my page, for the winter coach season.
Yeah. So that's
Proves their stipends, yeah.
That's pretty basic too.
Mhm.
Okay, is there any questions on that?
Nope.
Mike?
I'll make a motion, we accept the 24-25 winter coaches staff resolution 5-24-25.
I will second it.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Okay, the MOU Forks Hospital and Cooley Valley School District for transportation services in the event of a evacuation.
This just allows Tammy or somebody, we would put a bus driver, take a bus driver over to help evacuate if we need to for long-term care and or patients.
Is this new?
No, we've
No.
just
Yeah.
haven't renewed it in a while. The last time we did it was in 2018, so this is a renewal.
I'll say I hadn't seen it before,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I wasn't sure.
Yeah,
Did they ever do like a practice run on this or something?
no, we haven't.
Maybe we should try that.
Maybe we should try that. That would be interesting, yes.
Field trip day.
Evaluate the long-term care. Oh, my. It's not a good idea. It'll confuse them. Okay, so is there any more questions on that?
Nope.
Hey, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the MOU Forks Hospital and QVSD for transportation services in the event of evacuation.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, it's been moved and passed. And I guess that's it. Is there any other thing anybody wants to bring up?
Thank you all for
Thanks for
coming.
coming.
Great program.
Yes,
That was awesome.
that was fun.
Kevin,
then we're
you did
adjourned.
amazing.
Good job.
I think we
Look
should do
at
it
you.
all the time. I think you should be your
Look
stand.
at that.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
You're amazing.
I did it before, a long time ago.
I know, I thought you had, yeah.
I said not it.